Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Money Mornings with Hannah Kessler. I'm excited to be here with y'all today. Last week, all my things that I've learned in my youthful years of being 26. And today we're going to be diving into the topic that's really close to my heart, and that's legacy. And legacy is not all just about money. All right. I know a lot of us think that, oh, when I leave this planet, I'm going to have to leave a boatload of cash to my heirs and my family. But that's not what legacy truly means. So I know people, when they hear that word, they think inheritance money. They think, hey, I'm going to leave this will, this testament, this trust to my kids. And yeah, money is a big part of it. But I truly believe that legacy is so much bigger than that. It's about who you are, what you stand for, and how you leave this world better than how you found it. So today I'm excited to bring on a guest here with me. We are in the beautiful country of Mexico, and we're down here in Acapulco at this wonderful villa. And before I bring on my special guest today, I want to talk about redefining legacy because, as I said, legacy isn't just about dollars and assets. It's the mark that you leave on people's hearts. It's the stories they tell when they speak your name. And so I really want to expand deeper than just the definition beyond money and what that means when it comes to the terms of legacy. And in my opinion, it's really about stewardship of this earth. I believe a big responsibility that we have here is leaving the earth better than how we found it for ourselves, our family, our future generations. And whether that's being mindful of waste, helping the hungry children, planting a tree, or teaching our kids to appreciate creation. And that's truly what really matters. So I'm going to bring on my special guest, Miss Tess Hewlett. Welcome to the show, baby girl.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here. Hopefully I'll be in this position the whole day, but we don't know for sure because it's raining out there. But I'm so honored to be here with you all. Acapulco is beautiful. I don't know how I'm going to leave here to go back home. And I just want to even say what Hannah is talking about. In my case, legacy is, it has to be creative in a different way because I myself don't have children that I'll be leaving a legacy to. But I've found through this process and through learning myself that there are so many other ways. Like Hannah said, education, teaching has always been important to me. I've recently in the past year become like a money mentor and experiencing recently like ways that we can bring generations. We're working right now, Linus and I, with a family of 3 generations that we're trying to bring into this idea of financial freedom so that, like Hannah was saying, they can create and leave this world better than it was when they came into it. And what a beautiful gift for the day we stand before God that we say, look what we did down there to make it better for the next generation coming up.
That's right. That's right. Because I can even speak just from being second generation into this whole concept of what we teach, the infinite banking concept, the money multiplier method. I have been so blessed and grateful that I don't have to worry about money within my life. Because if I need money, I go borrow it from the family bank. And now I will tell you this, the family bank, they charge 13% interest. Okay. So we are really creating and teaching what I like to call Austrian economics, but the true value of money and respecting our dollar. But, I can always go down to the family bank to help fund new business ideas, buying myself a new house. If I am in need of a new car, anything that I need, I can go down and I can create that through the family bank. And then what's so cool about it too is that, I have siblings. I have an older brother and I have a younger brother. And how we have it set up here, the legacy is that any interest that we pay back to the family bank, that interest is going to get paid back to us first from the pool of the death benefit money that's left. So that interest will get paid back to us first. And then whatever's left over of that pool of money, that's going to get divvied up 3 ways to each respective child, right? So me not having to worry about money, it allows me to get out there, be creative. My cup is filled up, so then I can overflow and pour into other people's cups, and then they can build lasting empires and generations for themselves as well. So I think the most valuable things that we pass down, yeah, it's not material. I think it's the education, it's the coaching, it's the ability to create and help other people as we're living on this planet. And it's the way that we gather around the table. It's the rituals of gratitude, the vacations, the time, the traditions that really bind us together. And that's what creates identity for your kids and your grandkids. Do you want to
No,
speak on any of
yeah.
that? Mhm.
And I do agree with that. And I also even think that we have an earth that's kind of in pain right now. And I think if we helped them with this financial freedom part of it, it would allow them to open up to the creative part. And I think that's where the healing comes from. I think it's so much of the pain in the world is because people don't feel like they have control over their lives. They have dreams and desires, but they can't pursue them. And I love that you have that educational piece in your little family bank, because, if it wasn't inside of that little banking system of yours, would it be here 2 generations from now?
It
And the way,
wouldn't.
yeah, and the way this whole process that is we teach to the clients is that this will go on for generations as long as you put the tools into place, educate. It'll go on forever, and one day from heaven we'll be smiling at the things that they've done to create a earth that we couldn't even envision.
That's right. That's right. Because I know for myself too, like I actually have a foundation, and my foundation is called Speaking Life Foundation. And right now, the purpose of it, what I've really just been doing, because get this, from a money standpoint, I will lend money out of my foundation and I will go invest it into other real estate investments. And every month, when those borrowers are paying me back those interest checks, that money has to go back to my foundation. I cannot touch that money. So what I do over the course of the year is I have that money go out there and work in other real estate investments. I'm now helping those other real estate entrepreneurs and investors, and then it comes back to me. And then at the end of the year, I donate all of that money out to various 501c3s. So personally, I would love to do more with my foundation than what I am doing. And I've been kind of toying around with some ideas. I haven't really found exactly the direct path or passion that I really want to do with it. But I know one thing that's really, really deep in my heart is to teach in public schools about how money actually works. Because in my opinion, my father used to always say this. He says, Hannah, money is not everything, but it's pretty darn close up there next to oxygen. And when I was younger, I was like, Dad, you're kind of an arrogant a-hole for saying all that. Are you kidding me? But as I get older, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's so right, because it allows me the freedom and the choices of what I can do, because now my pocketbook is not dictating where I spend my time, what I'm doing within my time. And then I can go out there and give to different people, different organizations, because money is not dictating my time.
And I think that's the really important part, is because I even grew up in a environment where money meant greed and money meant turning into a bad person. But all money does is elevate who you are. So if you're a bad person, it's just going to let everybody see it faster. And I'm okay with that. If you're a good person, it gives you more opportunities, because you're right. How many things around? I don't even think you have to know everything that you're going to do right now, but just get started. Because if we're going to heal the earth, then we need to help heal people. We need to take care of our animals. We need to take care of our planet, like you were saying. So I think even as this continues to grow and the next generations come on, we're going to find even more opportunities we're not even seeing right now to create a better world.
That's right. That's right. And also it creates that ripple effect too, because every small action creates the habits, creates the ripples, whether it is just a smile, a kind word, mentoring someone, giving someone a chance. It's travels way further than you realize. And part of your legacy might be something you'll never even see in your lifetime. And honestly, it's just how you make people feel. I love the saying, people may forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Your kindness, your energy, your encouragement, that's really the fingerprints that you leave on somebody's life.
You know, and I will say, because I've been live on Facebook or, different platforms for the past few years, and the most special moments are when someone reaches out. And just this morning, Linus and I booked a call with someone that I was in group coaching probably 3 or 4 years ago. And there's nothing that could feel any better than there was somebody that has watched you and decided that through watching you, they're willing to learn something different.
That's right. That's right. So real quick, we're going to get into a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back. Hey, money multipliers, just real quick. I know times are crazy right now. We're in very uncertain times and thrive as a community. So coming up, Denver, Colorado, October 9, 10, and 11, the Money Multiplier team, we're going to be out there hosting a live that you have. And for my dreamers who you haven't started your infinite banking journey yet, but you want to connect and be with the like-minded people in that correct and right direction. So I want to in the one location. So check the link out down below for more information. multiplier.com/mastermind 2025. I'll see y'all in All right, and the reason that I just wanted to really promote the mastermind, because y'all, this is going to be our 6th live mastermind that we do as a community, and it's so much to get into death benefit. We get into our purpose, our why. I think when you just don't live, and then you wake up one day and you're like, oh my goodness, I am 55 years old. What have I been doing all these years up to this point in my life? And then you think that because I always say this, time is the only resource that you can't get back. And so I just want y'all to use your time wisely so that you are helping yourself, your family, progression to this planet and this earth. I mean, that's the beautiful thing that we have here about this human experience that we're living on this planet, is to have the, honestly, there's a lot of hate in the world, and we need to stop that crap. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all just walking down this crazy road of life together. We're all just trying to figure it out, and it's so by yourself and doing all of it.
Because if you think about it, we're all brothers and sisters. What is it? Well, because if anybody has followed me, I've probably been to 25 masterminds in the past few years. But it's the greatest gift, because what happens is you surround yourself with people and you're like, oh, you can do that? And then they give you a thought before, connect you with people you never thought that you'd connect with. And it's true what they say, you become the least of the 5 people you hang with the most. So pick those people wisely. Do you want to be the ones that...
Yes, this is why I wanted to bring you on here today, because you really cultivated this beautifully in your new book. And I guess I just want to add your book, Courage to Change, and what led you down the path to wanting to write something like that. Because I'll tell you, it's hard to write a book. I mean, I've written 2 books. It's kind of a tough cookie to crack. You don't. People do it because they want to give. They want to give. And I think that's another purpose of legacy too.
Ever thought I'd write a book. But funny, my grandma at the time I was like in 5th grade kept telling me, write a book. And I'm like, what is is wrong with this woman? And through life, what happened is I had a lot of struggles. I had medical struggles and financial struggles over 60. I thought, truthfully, I don't think I'd be alive today if a lot hadn't changed in my life. And when I started to get around this community, people would go, you have a story, and I go, but everybody has a story. And then the person, Clark, and he said, well, he came to me like for three different events over 6 months, and finally he walked up to me face to face and said, if you don't share your story, you're selfish. And he walked away, and I'm like, oh, you're right. The journey is not easy. I shared personal experiences through my journey, some of them really tough to share. I don't want you to think you're reading a biography, because you're not. Because my book is about 7 principles that changed my life. How did I go from a BMI of over 60 and in the W-2 world that I absolutely hated, to later in life saying, hey, maybe I can be an entrepreneur. And this is kind of funny, but behind the desk for 30 years as an insurance accountant, I only touched a handful of people. Now coming to all these events in person with Hannah and Chris and the rest of the crew, I've met, I want to say 1 million people, and it's probably not an exaggeration, and to have people reach out and to change their lives. And so I'm proud of myself for writing the book, but it was a 3-year project to get it finished. But I'm proud now because it's been received really well. And if it helps somebody, even if it's just one person that helped, then that warms my heart to say that I do it 3 years again.
Yeah. And two, it's also, you face your own demons as you're writing the book too. For the longest time, I mean, I had to work deeply with my mentors because I blacked out a lot of my high school into early college years. So I dropped out of college because I thought it was more fun making money than what it was, because I was embarrassed. I was hanging around the wrong crowds. I was stealing mom and dad's car. I was doing drugs, And so after I started sharing that story in my book on stages, people really came up to me and they trusted me more because they saw that I am a human. They saw the humility from it. They saw, hey, if I go through the same crap, I know that I can do a 180 and get back to the same position that I want to lead my life in. So I just don't want everyone to feel like, oh, I've struggled and I need to bury that deep down. I would really encourage everybody to work on your spiritual health, your mental health, because honestly, your mental and spiritual health is just as important. I was about to say, if not more, but I don't know. I think that's a bold statement. Then your physical health. And if you take the time to work on yourself, you can then go out there and serve to other people, to other communities. And I just think it's a valuable thing, because when you are leading out of intention, out of alignment, then you're able to make your mark on other people and just give to the other people as well. And last thing I'll say on that too, because bringing it all the way back around to the infinite banking concept, if y'all have ever heard Chris Noggle talk about this, he says, hey, what I have it all set up as is that when I graduate or when I die, there's going to be this death benefit money that gets paid out to this trust. And what this trust is going to do is it's going to write checks to Vivi's children on their birthday every single year. And maybe it's like $100 check every single year for their birthday, but it's going to be for their entire life, so that they're never going to forget who Grandpa Chris is. And I'm able to give, even though I'm no longer here on this planet. I'm in the grave right now and I'm off somewhere else, but I'm able to give from this pool of money to help support those following generations down the road.
And that just might be the thing that actually grabs, because there's always that one family member, maybe it's the black sheep, that doesn't want to follow what everybody else is doing. And that little check from Grandpa Chris may one day make somebody go, I got to dig into these YouTubes because there are thousands of them. And that might be the little thing that tips them over to join in with the rest of the family on the family banking system. And how many other families are going to be impacted when they catch those or hear the story? Your great grandpa still sends you a check. I have to figure out, I don't know what kind of technology we're going to have then, but there's going to be something because somebody's going to want to know about who is this dude that's sending me $100.
And this one is huge too. Okay, there's living a legacy versus leaving a legacy, and I just think this one's very powerful because don't wait until you're gone. I want y'all to live your legacy right now. Be the person today that you want to be remembered as tomorrow. One of our gals here, when we're doing our women masterminding, she was like, hey, no one gets up there at my funeral. I want them to, I'm thinking about what they're going to say about me once I'm no longer here. And that's truly how I live my life every day. And last thing I'll say on that, because she said something very, very important as well, just specifically about yourself and your self legacy. Think about you. And these are my people who, you're struggling with self-doubt, the confidence. Think about you having an imaginary microphone attached to your shirt and think that you're backstage and you're about to get up on stage and talk to 10,000 people. Okay, it doesn't have to be 10,000 people. I know that might scare some people, but think you're going to get up there and talk to a huge audience and you did not know that your microphone was on. What are the words that you are saying to yourself? Think that you have that imaginary microphone sitting right here and you are talking to yourself just as if you were talking, getting up there, speaking to 100 people, 10,000 people. That's really the mindset that you need to have within yourself, because I think sometimes it's hard for people to get over this hump of, well, I can go out there and I can go support other people and help other people, but I don't really want to do that because I'm not worthy enough to do that. And it's like, no, you know what one of my mentors says? He says, get out of your own damn way.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I think the idea of perfectly knowing what you're going to do, because that's always been my problem. In accounting, it's always like this rigid program. And the hardest thing I ever had to overcome, and I've heard it here in the mastermind also, is that just take the step. I used to try to plan these 100-point plans and I was going to follow it exactly. And then one day it dawned on me at one of the events, it's like, have I ever gotten past step 3 when I didn't have to recreate it? So why am I so worried about what the end result is? As long as I'm moving forward, the end result might change, but I'm making progress. If I keep doing that 100-point plan, I'm stuck at the gate for how many years while I watch everybody else leave me behind.
That's right. That's right. And actually, Tess, you hit on something important too, because, things that are important to you today may not be important to you 5 years, even 2 years from now. And things that are important to you today were probably not important to you 5 years ago. So it's okay to shift and pivot, but I just think it's important, and really the message I want y'all to get is that you need to act out of alignment. You need to sit down and you need to really think to yourself, how am I living my life right now? When have you really paused to think about this life journey that you're on? Or are you just floating by and just doing your day to day, what I like to call being busy? I hate the term when people tell me that I'm busy, and I hate telling other people that I'm busy. And so really crafting your life and your lifestyle around being intentional with every hour of every single day, because again, time's the only resource that you don't get back, baby.
Yeah. And I think, and to speak to that too, making sure that you're not afraid, like we were saying, continue moving, be intentional, but continue moving, and you save time when you can. Like, there's a favorite quote of mine from Jay Shetty, and Jay Shetty said once, you know how we all like struggle on which is the next door because we want to be perfectly executing the plan? And he said, forget which is the right door to go through. Walk into the door, take a look. You might only pick up one little speck of dust, walk back out and go to the next door. Hit every door on your journey, but just don't waste a lot of time in there. If it's not your place, move on to the next thing. And that's kind of Chris's thing. He always says, so be careful, everybody who wants to work for him, hire fast and fire faster because you just keep moving. And he's not. I mean, he's very supportive of everybody. But the idea is you just got to keep moving, but with intention, because you don't want to end up in the middle of this water out here that's very gorgeous, but with no boat.
So I just really want y'all to think, to bring it back around to the money conversation too. I know a lot of y'all getting into the whole world of the infinite banking concept, and you're reading Nelson Nash's book, Becoming Your Own Banker. You're reading Tess's book, Courage to Change, or maybe you're reading my book, The Single Millionaire Chick. You know, a lot of y'all are in that perspective of, oh, I really, really want to do this because I want to use my cash value now. I want to be my own banker in my own life. But you kind of just stop there. You never think deeper than that. And I just want y'all to think deeper to what's going to happen when you get into those latter years of life, when you are sitting there at 100 years old and you think to yourself, okay, I've really kept a lot of wealth within my family and myself all of these years living on this planet. I was able to recapture and recycle this interest instead of it going out to other people, other financial institutions, and other banks. But now, you know what else I have? I also have this lump sum free death benefit that's going to get paid out to my beneficiaries. And hey, maybe you don't have beneficiaries. Maybe you don't have children like Tess and myself. There are charitable organizations that you want to leave a legacy to. There are different people that you want to leave this legacy to. So I just want y'all to think deeper past the right now immediate use of your banking system and truly think about the death benefit and why that is there.
And that is true, because even myself, I've kind of looked at how I'm going to do it, and some of it to charity. And then there's also, I can see a family unit where I can help them to learn this process. And it doesn't have to be of my blood, but if I pass this on to somebody else, who maybe it's the old saying, they'll pass it on to two more people and two more people. And there's so many opportunities, like even inside this process of setting it up, so many people are afraid of setting up this infinite banking process. But there are so many resources within this network, and we all talk to each other. And even in getting this process set up that seems overpowering sometimes, I'm seeing things really done in such a beautiful way, where we're helping a grandma and we're helping her daughter, and then we're helping the grandchildren. And while we may not be able to set up all these policies at once, we have tools available. We can do convertible term until the point in time you can get that next policy up. We can grab that insurability while it's in the best possible spot. There's so much beautiful part of it, and we all get stuck in that immediateness of it, that we don't take the step. And this team has done so many policies around the idea of creating this legacy that will last generations to come. Don't hesitate, jump in, because what I'm seeing right now that I'm working with Linus that we're putting together for someone is it just makes my heart want to burst, because I know one day I'm going to look down from heaven and go, that fifth generation down, look what they did. And if it hadn't been for Hannah and I on this call, or Chris and Hannah, and when we're in Denver, it changes everything. And I didn't know about this till later in life. And my only regret is that I didn't know about it 10, 15, 20 years sooner. But man, what a beautiful day it's going to be when I look down and see that we healed the earth. We healed the animals. We created a world that none of us even knew could exist.
Yeah, yeah. And you can learn more about what we're talking about, because I know some of you people who are joining, you're like, what in the heck is the infinite banking concept? Never heard of that. So you can go to hannahkessler.com, find out more. Hannah spelled the same ways, forwards and backwards, Kessler with one S. But you can go deeper into that as well. And this is why I think it's so important to stick around with the community that understands this stuff, because I always think about this quote almost every single day of my life. When people are calling me up, scheduling strategy calls with me, I think about give them what they want, but truly give them what they need. I'll give you what you want, but I'm really going to give you what you actually need. And you might not see that on the surface right now, but we're going to get there as the ongoing implementation, the one-on-one coaching, et cetera, that we do together. Because I get it. A lot of people just get stuck in this today mentality. And I can say this, I'm the worst generation of this, of the Gen Z millennial generation. Speaking of, hold on, ADD moment. I was talking about this with Tess. Remember when I was talking about the Zillennials?
Yes, I love it. I wrote it down. It's in my notes.
Yeah, because y'all, I was actually, I was talking to some people and they're like, there's this funky little generation, on the in cusp of millennial, early cusp of Gen Z. You're kind of like the people born in like 95 to 99, and I'm a 99 baby, okay? And you understand all of the pop culture that came from the millennial side, but then you really understand the today fashion pop culture coming from the Gen Z side. So you kind of have this weird mix of both of them. And so, anywho's, being a zillennial or a millennial or a Gen Z, we are the worst generation about this, in my personal opinion. We're always thinking about right now, and I got to do this now, and I want to know right now. And you just got to take a step back and think, okay, this is a long-term process. This is a long-term game. And I really am setting up this foundation for myself so that I can have this freedom that I'm truly chasing. Because I know a lot of us, we just try to live paycheck to paycheck, and in the van life community, I can tell you, a lot of people just try to work just to make sure that they have enough money to go fill their next tank of gas for their next destination of where they're trying to go. And I don't want those stressors in my life. The stressors I want to know is whether it's going to be rainy or sunny outside, if I'm going to go hiking that day or not. That's the stressors that I personally want in my life. And I just want the same thing for y'all. So go ahead, Tess.
Well, and because time goes fast, when you're in that age group, you think that you've got forever years. And then one day you wake up and you're like, how did I get here? And yes, you can, it's never too late to start, but if you can pick it up a couple of years earlier, it just makes it lets you enjoy a whole lot more of it.
It does. And here's really just my challenge for you this week. If someone wrote one sentence about your legacy today, what would it say? And then ask yourself, what do I want it to say? I know a lot of y'all aren't going to do this challenge, but I would encourage you to do it. So if someone wrote one sentence about your legacy today, what would it say? And then how do you want to shift that? What do you truly want it to say? Because legacy isn't something that just magically happens, y'all. It's something that's creating every single day through your choices, your habits, your impacts. So that's my last final thoughts on this topic of legacy here. I do want to just shout out Tess, and just Tess, you have been so impactful in my life just with your positivity. Honestly, I don't think Tess Hulak ever has a bad day. And that's really her legacy, in my opinion. I didn't tell her that I was going to be sharing this today, but I really think that that's her legacy that she's living, is just show up. Number one, you just got to show up. If you know that there's a money multiplier event going on, or a money tank event, Tess Hulak's going to be there. So just show up, because showing up, that's 50% of the work already done. And then number two, just show up and just be positive. No matter what's going on, if there's a freaking tornado outside, Tess is like, hey, well, that's all right. We're just going to be over here in our bathroom and we could just play some cards for a little bit. That's Tess's personality.
Like right now, I'm on a computer and I'm like inches away from the rain, and I'm like, I don't care, because this is really important and I adore these people. And I have to tell you, my greatest joy is how many new friends that I learned about online do I get to meet in person at an event. It's always like, who? And I love, okay, this is probably terrible, but I love when they start fighting. How come you talk to him first? I'm like, yes, you got to get in line faster. Get up here.
Yes. So if y'all want to talk with Tess, you can see the link down below, beyourownbank.com/Linus-Nolt. So Linus is actually on our team. Some of y'all may know Linus. He's on our application team, and he works alongside closely with Tess. They're phenomenal people. So reach out to Linus, reach out to Tess. They are just a duo together, helping out everybody. But wait, say that again?
You'll get us both.
Yes. So 2 for 1, a twofer.
Yeah, 2 for 1.
So thank you, y'all, for spending your Thursday morning with me. And I'm going to see y'all back here next week for another Money Mornings with Hannah. And y'all, next week, I really want to get into invisible income. Okay, so I really want to teach y'all how to create some invisible income that is outside of government's hair that you can really take for yourself and create a lasting impact with that. Because hey, y'all, what's our largest eroder of wealth? It's taxes. So if I can help y'all minimize those taxes, I think it's going to be a good idea for y'all to listen up about how to really produce invisible income. And no, I'm not talking about self-directed IRAs, 401ks, keeping money inside of the bank, or leaving money underneath your mattress. Okay, so it's truly creating this stream of income, this invisible income that you can use to supplement that income instead of having to go out and work your W-2 job or be in your business day in and day out, how to really produce that. So before we go, Tess, do you have any last final words?
I would say make sure you're back here next week, because what she's talking about can be life-changing. And then I would say, not to say my book again, but just have that courage just to make even one change. Don't think that you're going to change 500 things at one time. You can't. You have to take one, like Hannah said, one intentional step a day. And then what happens is you look back 6 months later and you're like, how did I get so far? And it's because you took that one step. You went in that one door. And even if you're not in that door anymore, the next day you hit the next one. One step each day. Don't overwhelm yourself. Make it a journey that's a marathon, and you'll find yourself in a beautiful place at the end of it.
Beautiful. And hey, you can see the link down below. That's how you can get Tessa's book. If you want to reach out to me directly, you got my email there, hannah@hannahkessler.com. And thank you, y'all. Until then, go live the kind of life that you'll be proud of, to be remembered for. And until next time, we'll see everybody next week. I am here every Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, streaming on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and even TikTok. So thank you all for being here. We'll catch you next time.